Welcome to this mini podcast series that is a preview for Brisbane Designscape Reconnect 23, a live event being held in Brisbane on the 4th of November 2023, hosted by OfficeScape. The theme for the day is Reconnect. My name is Paul Fairweather and I'm the curator and MC for the day. And in this series of short interviews, I chat with the speakers and presenters about their ideas, insights, stories and observations about reconnection in their life, business, passion or career. And today's guest on the mini podcast for Brisbane Designscape is Dr. Mark Williams. Mark, welcome to the mini podcast series.
Thanks for having me along, Paul.
Now, Mark, you're going to be speaking on the 4th of November up here in Brisbane at the Brisbane Designscape Reconnect 23. And you've only just yesterday launched your new book, The Connected Species.
I have, yes. And it's going gangbusters, which is really, really exciting. But what's really exciting for me is I'm getting a lot of great feedback from people on how they're using a lot of the tips and tricks which are in the book on how to actually reconnect with people. Because I think we went through a strange period during COVID. And I think a lot of people are really suffering and need to get back to the normal rather than the new normal and start reconnecting with each other, reconnecting on a real level, because it's just so important for us and for our brains to really connect with people.
I'm so excited to have you along on the 4th. In fact, it could be seen that we're actually built this day in theme around reconnect around you and your book. And maybe it was in the back of my mind after the previous podcast we've done. But I think you are going to lead off the day to set people's minds. And then for the rest of the day, we're going to have some other, professional inverted commas speakers, but a lot of just architects and designers who are doing different things and reconnecting with their audience. So, so in your book, in the title, you sort of talk about the human need or drive to connect and to divide. So this is obviously, there's a two-way street on this idea.
Yeah, there's always two sides to any coin, right? We talk about happiness, and the flip side of happiness is you've got to go through struggles to have happiness, and the same with our need to connect. Whenever you connect to a group or whenever you're part of a group, there is always those people who aren't part of that group, and so they're actually going to feel ostracized because of that. And our brains have really been set up to work out who our groups are, and our brains have evolved so that we can recognize those within our group and those who aren't within our group. And we actually perceive the world differently based on what groups we're actually members of. And we perceive people differently. We find people who are members of our group more attractive. We hear what they say differently. So if you're a member of the Make America Great organization, then you're going to hear what Donald Trump says completely differently to someone who's not a member of that organization. And we need to realize this, that our perceptions aren't veridical. They're not based on what's actually out there in the world, but rather what is in our memory system and what we actually know about the world, because it's extremely complicated, the world out there. And so our brains are constantly trying to make sense of the world so that we can actually perceive it in a way which makes sense to us and keeps our lives stable, if you like, and that's what we're always looking for, is to keep the world stable so that we can live within the world in a way which is best for us. But that means that we need to be aware when we are ostracizing people or when we have feelings about people, and to connect with that and work out why we're having those feelings and whether those feelings are actually valid or whether or not they're based on some awful stereotype that we're being taught when we were younger or we've heard from friends. Yeah, there's a real need for that. But it's amazing how much of our brain is involved in this connection, and it's amazing the benefits you get from having real connection with people. A Harvard study recently just came out and showed that you actually live 10 to 15 years longer if you've got people in your life that you actually catch up with and chat to on a regular basis. All you've got to do is sit down and chat with someone who you trust on a regular basis. You're going to increase your lifespan by 10 to 15 years and improve your cardiovascular system. So that's such an important aspect.
Yeah, look, that is fantastic. I know in previous podcasts we've discussed this thing, and it's in your book as well. But yeah, it really is a bit of a game changer to realize that people have different perceptions based on where they sit in the tribe of connection. And but it's something that, is so obvious. It makes things so much clearer when you know that. But when you don't know that, it's like these people are crazy, So it's such a simple, genetic and historical thing. So, Mark, look, as I said, so excited to have you come and speak on the 4th of November at Brisbane Designscape in Brisbane. So we'll look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you, Paul. I'm really looking forward to catching up with you in person and everyone else in person, which is the best part about any conference, of course.
Lots of connections to have and some reconnections with Chris and I.
Absolutely.
So Brisbane Designscape is on the 4th of November in Brisbane, in Wickham Street, Fortitude Valley. Tickets are now on sale. Hit the link below. So I trust to see you there. Cheers. I trust you enjoyed this short snippet preview for Brisbane Designscape Reconnect 23, live event being held on the 4th of November at 108 Wickham Street, Fortitude Valley. Tickets are now on sale, and you can just click on the link below in the show notes. Hope to see you there. Thanks for tuning in.